Hello, I'm John Holler, and I'm privileged to serve as President and CEO of Epworth Children's Home. And I want to visit with you just for a couple of minutes to thank you for what you're doing by being foster parents and being willing to take children into your home to touch their lives and to make a difference, both now and into the future. I know sometimes it can be very difficult work, challenging work, but we thank you at Epworth Children's Home, and others thank you for making such a tremendous difference in the lives of young folks who need people who care and who are willing to open their hearts and to open their homes. During this time when the virus is circulating in our state and in our region, things are different. And so we encourage you to practice social distancing as much as you can and to follow the guidelines that the Department of Social Services has issued for visitation. And if you don't have a copy of those guidelines, please contact DSS. And if you cannot be successful there, then contact us and we will make sure that you have a copy of those guidelines. Very important, of course, to practice so that we all continue to be safe and well. Also, our current situation means that many of our foster care workers are working remotely. And so they are not in the office from day to day. And so you may reach them in case of an emergency by the emergency cell phone. And otherwise, they may also sometimes be in contact with you. Now, in the Charleston area, they are still working from their office, and so you may call them at the office during regular hours, and then if you have an emergency, you can contact them through the emergency cell phone down there. Also, we have been asked by DSS to ask you if you are willing and you're able to take in an additional child or additional children into your home. Please contact the DSS. They are in need of additional placements, and during this crisis they especially have children where they have not been able to find placements. So if you have an open space and are willing to share that, please contact DSS. And I want to wrap up this brief chat by thanking you once again for what you do, and asking you also to share some meaningful or fun stories that you might have about you and your foster children or foster child and how things have been going through this period. We'd love to be able to share those with others. Also, I'd like to tell you about a man named Bill. Bill grew up hard. He came from a family that couldn't meet his needs, and so he found himself moving from placement to placement. And none of those placements were particularly successful. And so when he was 17 and a half, he found himself in trouble with the law and was going to go to court to see what would happen to him. And he had a court-appointed attorney, of course, and she visited him while he was there in jail and or in juvenile authorities rather, and he said, a lot of things have happened to me in my life, and a lot of the things I brought on myself, but I've gotten to the point where I just don't care anymore, and I've given up on life, and really I've given up on myself. And she told him that even though he may not know it, there are people out there who are caring and pulling for him, and that she was not going to give up on him. That as his court-appointed attorney, that she would stick by him and represent him in her best way that she could. And she did, but in spite of her representation, he received a sentence for a few months in juvenile detention. And so he served his time, and during that period, she visited with him and she communicated with him. She didn't give up on him. And after he served his time and got out, she helped him further his education. and she helped him find a job. And he found something that he could be very successful at. And today he runs a large youth program that specializes in helping youth who find it difficult to find their place in life. And it's a very effective organization. And so you see, you have the same effect as that attorney had on Bill. You have the opportunity for that same effect for the children that you take into your care. Children that you open your hearts and home to, children that you stand by, children that you can make a difference with, and children who can go on and have a good life because of the investment you made. And so we at Epworth thank you for that. And we ask that you receive God's blessings as you receive our thanks.